Gentlemen, we've got something to discuss today about the game that I believe is heading down one of the most tragic paths in gacha history. The downfall of Zenless Zone Zero is something that I believe should be studied, because my, oh my, they are in some pretty interesting practices right now. So if you've been keeping up with the news in regards to this game, you would understand that there's been quite a bit of drip marketing that's been released in the past couple of hours. You got your good old Manato over here, teased during version 2.1, I think. Also teased during 2.0. He's going to be an A rank. Some people are upset about that. We'll get to that in a second. And they've also teased another character who basically just looks like Jane Doe and Yishuan combined. Yeah, they basically just took like the pantsuit, whatever that is. Yeah, whatever that piece of clothing is, those booty shorts. They took Yishuan's booty shorts and put on Jane Doe's head and then made her hair blue. Yeah, that kind of just seems to be exactly what's going on over here. I think there's a little bit of Ganyu mixed in as well with the horns, but that is going to be Lucia. And this is the thing, right? I'm not necessarily going to go ahead and say that there's anything wrong with like the drip marketing, the art, any of that. Some people could say, you know, basically echo the concerns that I just made. Seems a little bit unoriginal. But what I actually want to focus on isn't actually the designs or any of that. It's the date of these announcements. And you would understand that drip marketing is something that occurs before a version releases. But is it something that occurs 2 versions in advance? 2 versions in advance, ladies and gentlemen. Because right now, ZZZ is currently on patch 2.1. There's 11 days actually left in patch 2.1. And they are already beginning to drip market for patch 2.3. I think that's a little bit crazy. And it's kind of even crazier when you know that 2.0 is supposed to be like the update that changes everything for this game. And then when they release drip marketing for version 2.2, which is in 11 days, they did it a month ago. They drip marketed for Seed and Orpheus and Magus. They drip marketed for them on July 24th and July 25th. They did that basically halfway, 8 and 9 days into the 2.0 update, or sorry, in the 2.1 update. 8 or 9 days into the 2.1 update, they had these guys come out. And a month later, with that much time left in the patch, we've already got the next set of units. Guys, if you don't understand essentially what is going on here, this is basically an admission from the devs. This is basically an admission from the marketing team that this company is getting desperate. This game is getting incredibly desperate, to the point where they don't even need to see like what the income, what the trajectory is of the newest units. They already know that Seed and Orpheus, they already know that these two are kind of already failures. They kind of already know that these 2 units aren't going to be doing that well. Kind of like just not profitable at all. And because of that, they've already started drip marketing the next set of banners so that people can still retain their hype, because holy moly, I don't think anyone gives a fuck about these units. And that naturally, right, goes into like the whole character design, the whole planning process. Why are these devs creating units, creating things that people aren't that interested in the first place, and then going ahead and, you know, integrating them into the game? And the worst part about all of this is that people seem to really be echoing the concerns when it comes to the overused, rehashed designs. You can see over here that this has 26k likes on the new 5-star unit that came out first. Lucia, right? Then you go over to the 4-star Manato, and this guy actually has more likes. This guy actually has more marketing. And the thing is that, oh my goodness, what is actually going on here, ladies and gentlemen? This looks yet like another character design, another unit that people don't give a shit about. And we're doing this with basically 3 5-stars in a row. Look at the likes on these units. 20k on Orpheus, 24k on Seed, and then we got 34k on Manato released this morning. Guys, if it's not clear what's going on over here, I think it's actually pretty evident. The character designs in this game have been absolutely falling off of a cliff. Pretty much everything in regards to Zenless Zone Zero has been falling off of a cliff. The story, the puzzle design, the environment, the dialogue. It seems like it's AI written, half of it. Progression doesn't make sense. They combine story quests with character story quests, and the end result is every quest feels like trash and it's completely contrived, and it feels like it shouldn't make any sense, and there's a deus ex machina coming in to resolve every single plot point, every single plot hole that ends up occurring when you force characters into the story. And they do it over and over again. They're going to be doing the same exact thing for 2.1, or sorry, for 2.2 with Seed and Orpheus, somehow weaving their main stories into the Exaltus plotline. And just imagine what they're going to be doing for these guys. And I just gotta say, this isn't even the only issue. There's even more problems that are occurring. I've only scratched the surface here. When we actually click on into Komano Manato's drip marketing and we see some of the quote retweets and we see some of the discussions that are going on, ladies and gentlemen, believe me, it does actually get noticeably worse. So we got Jazz over here on X, who's decided to go ahead and compile some comments related to the drip marketing. And this, I don't think this is even related at all to like the failure in character design. This is more like a mismanagement of character design. People are upset that he's not an S rank. People are upset that he's a 4-star because a lot of the parts of his design, they seem to be better, more engaging, or at least the player base seems to like him a lot more than some of the existing 5-star units. And I'm gonna be real here. When you have garbage, dog shit looking designs like this, like holy fuck, how do we go from Diva and Firefly to this? What a fucking abomination. She's got the most boring face and like just one of the most boring character designs possibly in gacha history, as well as like the voice design on these two units kind of makes people wish they were deaf. It's no surprise that people are upset that Manato is a 4-star because he kind of is the most well-designed out of the bunch that we've seen. Actually unique body design, all of that, new to the game, and then we just have Yishuan plus God Yu plus Jane Doe. So let's read some of those comments. Fuck ZZZ, boring game, garbage decisions, random nobody gets S rank and joins magically the Spook Shack. Manato, who was seen since 2.0, gets the A rank treatment just for being male. I hope every banner flops. Can't wait for this game to get washed away. They triggered a certain part of the community, ladies and gentlemen. A rank after all this. Kinda hate y'all right now. You introduced a character we haven't met yet as an S rank, but not the one so many people were excited about. Like, I adore Manato, but this is super disappointing. You guys fucked up so bad it's painful to watch. Literally one of the most hyped character, and you set him up as a failure as an A rank DPS. I'm uninstalling just for this shit. Are you kidding me? We're waiting this long for Manato, and he's an A rank. And guys, I'm just gonna be honest with you. I'm not pulling no Mr. Jokey. I'm not pulling a Mr. Pokey over here and then reacting to posts that only have 1 like that are made by an account with 1 or 2 followers. This is a healthy amount of engagement. Over 400 likes, or close to 400 on all the comments posting that. I don't think people are very happy with this one. I don't think they're happy with this. I don't think they're happy with that. And they're definitely not happy with this one. Because holy shit, 20k is diabolical. 20k on a post like this advertising the new unit is legitimately diabolical. Now let's keep seeing what else we got over here. There's even more comments. Don't worry, ladies and gentlemen. Made to be an A rank for some ugly fucking... I think they're referring to her. I can't believe you made him an A rank after all that hype he got and all that screen time. A rank, seriously, you guys are really trying hard to make me uninstall the game. And then we've even got Age over here. I know I said I wasn't going to react to any of her ZZZ content. Well, this is a tweet, not a video. We can just read her tweet out loud because she posted this publicly. Why didn't you just release him in 2.1 then? Why all the buildup for A ranks? So it seems like this has made everybody mad. And I guess the interesting part, or probably the funny part about all of this, is that if these designs were like just better, if the kits were better, the movesets were better, if she didn't look like a 12-year-old writing a segue for 90% of her animations, if she didn't look like actually AI-generated garbage, where the prompt was Jane Doe, Ganyu, and Yizhuan, can you make a character that looks like all 3? I feel like people wouldn't be as upset for Manato being an A rank. But he legitimately seems like one of the only units across the last couple of months that's had any effort at all actually put into his fucking design. And then he's an A rank while all the garbage rather than the cream is going to the top. Just as kind of like proof for evidence that the buildup for, the buildup across the past couple of months knowing that the next 80 days of this game look like this, well, people are quitting. Day 1 players are actually just quitting. And don't worry, they've got proof that they're a Day 1 player as well. I think people are just tired of it, right? I think they've given this game too many chances. Or really, they've given this game enough chances, but Hoyoverse has taken those chances and wiped their fucking asshole with it, giving you dog shit like this instead. I guess the reality is just, this game is just going to continue bleeding players. It is something that has been occurring since version 2.0. A lot of people got baited to come back, and they really just gaslighted themselves into thinking the content was actually good because they wanted the game to be good. But I think reality is starting to finally hit because people have recognized that the last couple of updates, they weren't actually great. And the ones coming up don't look great either. And so I think a lot of people are just deciding to rip off the Band-Aid right now. And I'm just going to be honest, I think that's the right thing to do because this company in charge of this game has mismanaged it into the fucking ground, and making that known is something that I think should happen so that actual changes can occur. And for the 17th relaunch that this game gets, maybe they'll start fixing stuff. Let's just be honest about this, ladies and gentlemen. What are these developers doing? What is this marketing team doing? What is like the character design team doing? You look at all of this garbage, all of this trash that is coming out over the past couple of months across 2.1, 2.2 to 2.3 and beyond, and you're just like, how has this game fallen so fucking far? How has there been such a downturn in things like the story, in things like think about every unit that we had released before. Think about the lighters. Think about the Miyabis, think about the Yanagis, think about all of these higher quality units, higher quality character designs that were released earlier in the game's life cycle. The character designs have literally just got, I need to look at the ZZZ release schedule. ZZZ banner release, surely they have one and we could just take a look at like what the designs are. ZZZ release history. Here we go. Oh, and just as a quick fun thing, yeah, there's a mobile gaming company that's doing game awards for the best game update of the year. They considered HSR 3.0 to be better than ZZZ 2.0. So that's just something to keep in mind. I think that's an embarrassment on its own. Yeah, that is one badge of shit that you probably don't. All right, here we go. We got the version updates. All right, so wow, yeah, Vivian and Hugo, very well designed. Silver Ambient Trigger actually look cool. Astra, Yao, and Evelyn, also good designs. Miyabi and Haramasa, great designs. Yanagi, great. The Sons of Caledon, also great design. And then you had the whole police force. I think the police force looks the jankiest out of the bunch, but I think people still like them, right? It's just, where has it gone? Like, what even is this compared to the past stuff that's been released in the game? Like, this is, without a doubt, like, these are the worst character designs the game has ever had. The worst ones they've ever fucking had. And then the one guy that seems to be able to navigate all the muck, it's an A rank. Yeah, ladies and gentlemen. Hey guys, Saint from the future over here. I know we recorded our ZZZ content, all of that, prior to the full drip marketing. So here's my take on the next character, Yidhari, that's going to be revealed for version 2.3. Yeah, this character, like, I mean, I guess the character is basically bottom half Yizhuan once again, except I guess they deleted like 50% of one ass cheek. But yeah, the other ass cheek is 1000% just Yizhuan pants again. And then you have like Vivian's top. Straight up, all of these new character designs literally just look like they're taking the bottom half and the top half of previously made units that were actually original and then just fusing them together. She's even purple too, like Vivian. So yeah, Vivian top half, like that's literally what it is. And then half of Yizhuan and then whatever the fuck is going on over here for the bottom half. It's just, the devs are creatively bankrupt. I feel like these devs are being like forced, they're like chained to their desks and they're forced to make 2 new characters every update. And for version 2.3, I guess, the designs are so recycled. It is insane. And so yes, my opinion hasn't changed. This game is going down a terrible path. So yeah, Saint from the future, out. So, I mean, it's becoming clearer and clearer what's happening over here, right? You piece together all the evidence that's going on over here, the absolutely dismal reception of these new units. They're released 8 days into the update. In a desperation plea, 11 days before 2.2 even begins, they've already started advertising for units that are releasing 50 plus days from now. They're releasing in 50 plus days, ladies and gentlemen. And they're already advertising them because these characters are such a fucking abomination. I don't know what's going on at this company. I've been asking the question day after day. And I think at this point, if you're not accepting of the fact that this game has diminished incredibly in the short span of about 6 months, it's downgraded this significantly. If you're not able to recognize that, I don't really know what else to say. I just think you need to be cognizant of when a game is giving you less than what it did before. And there's no reason for a company like Hoyoverse that makes this much fucking money and has this much fucking budget to actively make the game worse as time goes on. That's just, and especially when you know the track record of Honkai Impact 3rd, the game that you know is definitely like not a moneymaker for Hoyo. That gets updates to make the game better every patch. That's like the actual love child of Hoyoverse. This is the red-headed step cousin. HI3 is getting more support than ZZZ currently with how this shit has been tracking. Because good God, what an absolute miss. Patch over fucking patch. Waiting for the next soft relaunch. Don't worry, they'll probably advertise the soft relaunch for version 2.4. They'll start advertising that in the middle of 2.2. Don't worry. They'll say they'll fix the game again. The announcement will probably come up 3 days into version 2.2 that they're fixing everything in 2.4 once again. Every single time you expect something from this game, and all you get is disappointment. And this is just another example of it. So yeah, that'll be that, ladies and gentlemen. Let me know what you think about this situation, and peace.